Hey everybody, I've been asked a lot to give an introduction to meditation video, so that's what we're going to do today. I've already done a heart meditation. We're going to do some more intermediate and advanced meditation videos as well, but this is the video of where you can begin if you're very new to meditation, if it's something that maybe feels a little bit daunting, if you have no idea what you're doing, or even if you are an avid meditator and just want to, kind of dive in with a fresh mind. You can take that beginner's mind if you'd like. I think it's always a good perspective. So when we think about an introduction to meditation, we first want to learn actually how to focus our mind and really bring our attention to bear on our breath. A lot of traditions call this shamatha. I'm not going to use a lot of complicated words right now. I'm just going to actually focus on the practice itself. A little bit of background on me, for those of you who don't know, my name is Lightstone. I'm a human excellence coach. I'm also a meditation instructor. I have an entire coaching program surrounding meditation and basically human optimization. And I leverage meditation in both that coaching program and my own life. I've lived in a bunch of different Buddhist monasteries. I'm a yoga practitioner, martial arts practitioner, and teacher. And I really have these core practices are fundamental to who and what I am now at 40 years old. And so without further ado, let's talk about an introduction to meditation. So my suggestion for people who are beginning meditation is to really carve out, honestly, about 10 minutes. You can do this for longer, and we'll kind of get into what that looks like for you. But at first, this really shouldn't feel like punishment. It shouldn't be too arduous. It shouldn't be too intense. We really want to just kind of develop a nice, soft relationship with your meditation practice, so it hopefully is joyful. What we're going to do, just find a nice kind of seated position. I like to sit with I've got my camera up here, or my TV up here, so I'm going to be referring up here a little bit. I like to have my shoulders roll back, seated in a chair or on a meditation cushion, but it doesn't really matter. But you want to have a nice straight spine with an S curve, and you can take your arms, just lay them kind of on your lap or on your knees, and just feel pretty just grounded and rooted. You don't need to be too stiff. Don't really need to overthink it. I like to have both feet on the ground. I'll oftentimes sit in what's called seiza, or Burmese style, with your legs kind of crossed like this. I used to sit in half lotus, and honestly, the half lotus position kind of throws off my spinal alignment. I thought that looked cool when I was a teenager in my early 20s, to sit in full lotus. And if you want to do that, go for it. But honestly, the practice here is not so much about contorting our body. It's more about focusing our mind and bringing our body into alignment, not doing yoga. If you want to do yoga, go do yoga. And we can do a video on that later. So after you've found your seat, you can just start to still your breath and really start to find that stillness inside. Thoughts are going to come up immediately, and that's fine. We want to focus on our inhalations and our exhalations. A lot of traditions, particularly coming out of East Asia, will focus on the hara, or the dantian, and that's basically in your belly button, about an inch below and an inch in. That's fine. You can breathe into your hara if you'd like. I prefer to breathe into my heart center, and so that's how I'm going to share this with you now. I have an entire kind of internal body scan that is a heart meditation that's more focused on an active visualization that is, I think, more of an intermediate level of meditation. This particular practice that we're going to do today is actually about building a relationship with your mind and bringing yourself back into alignment when your mind starts to kind of have discursive thoughts. So wherever you want to focus your breath on, pick one. Transcendental meditation will focus on breathing right here, the sensation of breathing on their lip. Again, whatever works for you. I would suggest the heart. When we breathe in and we can feel that kind of spaciousness in our heart with each inhalation, we want to count 1. So 1, and then breathing out, counting 2. Breathing in, counting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the practice here is incredibly simple. And just because it's simple doesn't mean that it's easy. We're going to go from 1 all the way up to 10 and then back down to 1 again. Let's actually just do this together. I will count with each inhalation. My inhalations are a little bit longer than most folks, so I'm going to kind of cut it a little bit short, just so we're not out of breath, or so you're not out of breath. I'm a relatively large male, and so I can hold my breath a little bit longer, so I'm going to kind of trim it down a little bit. But let's try to breathe together. So breathing in 1, breathing out 2, breathing in 3, breathing out 4, breathing in 5, breathing out 6, breathing in 7, breathing out 8, breathing in 9, breathing out 10, breathing in 9, breathing out 8, breathing in 7, breathing out 6, breathing in 5, breathing out 4, breathing in 3, breathing out 2, breathing in 1, breathing out 2, and then you'd go back from 1, back up to 10, back down to 1, back up to 10, back down to 1. And you're basically just ping-ponging up and down. It is quite honestly the simplest thing that you can do. You are just counting your breath. Again, just because it's simple doesn't mean that it's easy. So when you don't have a 205-pound large tattooed muscle man breathing with you and you're in your bedroom alone, or even if you're sitting in a monastery and everyone's silently breathing on their own and counting in their own heads and hearts, your mind will wander. You'll start thinking about, for me, the gym, just because I like to go to the gym, or maybe some gym crush that I probably won't ever talk to because I know that she's probably not the one for me. But that's maybe where my mind would go, right? And so when our mind starts to wander, we want to come back to our breath. Now, hopefully we remember what number we're on. If we're like on number 5, breathing in for 6, I maybe am thinking about some girl on the squat rack and I'm like, oh, I don't want to think about that right now. And so I bring my mind back to my breath and then continue the count. Now, let's say she just is really great at squats and she's distracted me so much, even on my meditation cushion, that I don't remember what number I'm on. That's totally okay. And you just start from 1 again. So this is like the magic. And this is, as it was taught to me, I was taught by many teachers, particularly John Daidalori Roshi at Mount Tremper Zen Mountain Monastery. They're a fantastic community. And if you'd like to have some further education, you can go and also review some of their meditation classes and their sessions. I've done several of them. And I've done some live-in tutoring there as well, or I don't know, I'm trying to remember the exact name of that particular program that they have. But there are many resources on their website you can go check out. He spoke about this great. So I'm going to reference one of my former teachers saying you're basically putting like money in the bank every time that you come back to your breath, back to 1. And so instead of thinking of this as like I've somehow failed by thinking of gym squat girl, no, it's okay. Because when we come back, we're actually training the neural network of our brain to be more resilient and to actually be able to come back to that network. And so from a very reductionist perspective of just, the base physical body and not even getting metaphysical about it, although we can do that too, we're creating this network inside of our body system, connected to our hearts, connected to our lungs, connected to our breath, connected to the rest of our extremities and our brain around returning to focus. This is the key for this stage of beginning meditation. Your mind is going to wander, and that's okay. And we want to bring it back into alignment without any judgment, without any stories, without any narrative, because that is also thinking. That's more discursive thoughts. Again, we don't want to judge it, because if I'm like, oh man, I really shouldn't be thinking about gym girl, she probably has a boyfriend or like whatever, like she's, blah, 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 blah. That's just more not meditation, right? That's more discursive thoughts. Instead, if I really think the gym girl is worth talking to, I can just say, you know what? Next time I see her, I'm going to go introduce myself. Done. And then be done with that. Be done with that. Or get up and go find her on Instagram. Go to the gym and go look for her. Make a choice. Either you are meditating now or you're going to go chase after gym girl or whatever the proverbial gym girl is for you. And this is a really important decision. If you are choosing to meditate and if you are choosing to train your mind, then train your mind. Because if you don't, if you follow those thoughts, you're then training your mind that it's okay to go run after the proverbial gym girl. That's fine when it's time to go find gym girl. When it's time to meditate, you got to meditate. And this is from my direct personal experience. So discursive thoughts come, we come back to our breath and we start at 1. Sometimes if it's a bad day, I remember when I was much younger, I felt like it would just be like 1, breathe in, fuck. 1, breathe in, oh, fuck. 1, breathe in. That's okay. We meet ourselves wherever we're at. Like I didn't get to be this large by like just instantly, boom, you're jacked now. No, I go to the gym every single day. And if you want to be very good at meditation, you focus on your breath every single day. And you start small. I can work out now for about 4 hours, so long as I have enough glucose and water and sodium, like I can go to town. Most people can't do that, but that's because as a dedicated athlete, we've put those reps in over time. The same is true with meditation. When you go and you can do a session or like a 7-day retreat, at first it is a hellacious experience. You are faced with the discursiveness of your mind, but through practice, those sessions actually become these like beautiful explorations of your interiority. And I feel a lot of compassion. I'll put it that way. I feel a lot of compassion when I go now to a meditation retreat and I see people really struggling. And sometimes they burst into tears or their like bodies are so tense. You just feel that they are just in it because they haven't yet built that relationship with their mind. Where avid meditators, they will go and I'm going to be very honest. You have clarity. You have internal clarity of, just being in this space and having zanshin or just, basically no thoughts. You're just in a state of unity with self and with other, and it's quite beautiful. But it's like, me being able to bench 415 or, 500 pounds, like it's beautiful to watch because I put that time in. And you have to start someplace. And it's okay to start at 1 and to keep coming back at 1. So for a beginner's perspective on meditation, allow yourself to then just be that beginner. It's okay. Come back to your breath. And every time that you count, start at 1, go up to 10, back down to 1. Once you're able to do that regularly for about 10 minutes, maybe try doing it for 20 minutes. See how that feels. And you should be able to go up to 10, back down to 1 again, up to 10, back down to 1 again. And you'll start to notice that your focus, instead of like it's all over the place, it actually starts to narrow. And the thoughts are still there kind of on the outside, but you have that focus on your breath. And it's almost like the eye of the storm. You have this maelstrom of all of the proverbial gym girls of the world, right? You can tell where my focus is at right now because I'm very single right now and not dating anyone. So all of the distractions that are real. And you focus on your breath. You focus on what's really important to you. And you allow that to be what you put your attention on. And eventually those things start to quiet down. Now, when you get quite good at that focus, you're able to go to 1 to 10, back down to 1 again. You can kind of turn up the volume a little bit and make it a little bit more of a challenge. Instead of counting both inhalations and exhalations, just count your inhalations. So that looks like this. Inhaling 1, exhaling, no count. There's a pause there. There's a space. Inhaling 2, exhaling. There's a pause there. There's space. We are now training our nervous system and our body and our mind to have that pause. Because when we're counting in and out, we're giving something for our brain and our minds to actually focus on the entire time. 1, 2, 3, 4. It actually sounds like, like a Zen chant, right? We now have that space. And that space at first can be an aperture for the proverbial gym girls to creep in on us. And that actually might be nice if they were to come and talk to us, but we don't want it as discursive thoughts when we're sitting in meditation. So when we breathe in, 1, we breathe out, nothing. We then breathe in 2. And once you can do that and go from 1 to 10 regularly for 20 to 30 minutes, you have then mastered to a degree this level of meditation. Many people call this shamatha or focused meditation. Again, these are fancy words and that's awesome. And I love fancy words as a writer, but ultimately you are building a relationship with your mind. You're building a relationship with your body and you are yoking, much like yoga, yoking the mind and the body. So you get to focus on what you want to focus on. Now, this is fantastic because most people that I know are addicted to their cell phones, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, or whatever else it is. And so instead of opening up and, going to where dopamine lives, which is called Instagram for most millennials and TikTok for most Gen Zs, you can pause and instead come back to your breath. And you actually can create dopamine in your central nervous system, in your body and in your brain through this practice. And it takes time to be able to train your body, but you literally can create and you can manufacture dopamine in this way. There's many studies on it, and I'll do a deep dive on the pharmacological and neurological kind of reality of what meditation does. There's amazing research. I went to Naropa University, and they taught us very well there about how this all works from a neurological perspective and how meditation is very good for us. And that's for another day. It's a very intellectual pursuit. Happy to share it. This is the practical. Okay, what do? You count your breaths. From this practical lens, how often should you do this a week? I would suggest 7 days a week. Carve out 5-10 minutes. And if you can just dedicate that amount of time for yourself and for this practice, you will see amazing results. It's like putting drops in a bucket, and eventually that bucket will be overflowing, and you will master this. Really, anybody can do it. It's a challenge, but in my experience, all good things in life that are challenging, those are the things that we really value. So from a beginner's perspective, don't be too hard on yourself. Focus on your breath. If you have any questions, you can send me a message on Instagram. It's lightstone.media. I have coaching programs about this. And we have group coaching programs where other people who are also in various stages of beginning meditation can share their experiences with you if you are a total beginner. And if you are advanced or intermediate, you can check out our upcoming videos about our intermediate and advanced meditations as well. All right, we'll see you next time.